Welcome, NerdRC. This is gonna be great.
Welcome to NerdRC. Break hearts, not breaks. NerdRC.
On today's episode of Two Americans Visit Europe for the First Time, we actually stayed in this cool little campground in Oban called Highfield Holidays. And, well, of course we had to play with the RC cars, and there was a beach nearby. So to the saltwater we went after hanging out in our tent for a little bit. And by tent, I meant this huge RV right here. You could feel the median and the edge of the road at the same time with this thing, and it was a little scary. But alas, this beach was absolutely wonderful. We got there just in time to be there at golden hour. And of course, we looked at each other and went, let's drive in the water. I know it's not good for it or anything, but, you know, disaster strikes when you drive in salt water, but in the moment you're kind of like, wow, this is really fun. I mean, look at how pretty it is and shiny and all that stuff. So for those of you who are curious and don't yet know, this is Josh's favorite SCX24. This is based off of a NerdRC Gizmo launch edition, and it is chassis number 1, so it is the very first retail one, and it is his favorite truck. He has it super low, and it has a lot of clearance because it is a NerdRC Gizmo for a class 1. Both of these NerdRCs are based on the deadbolt geometry. It has really short front links and longer rear links to move the transmission closer to the front, and this helps with weight distribution. And speaking of both of these, it was the first time that both of them had ever seen a beach or saltwater. I remember when I was about 5 years old, and my father said I looked like I had stepped on the moon for the first time with all the confusion, and I assume that that's what both of these machines were going through, like, what in the world is this beach thing, you know? Then we played a fun game of how close can we get our $500 RC car build to the waves without breaking it. And it's always really fun to get pretty close, get these cool views, and then once a bigger wave comes in, you just kind of bolt back to land and hope that the ocean and Poseidon doesn't wash away your most prized possession. New to the factory team NerdRC fleet is this one. This one's Hot Cheeto, and if you watch Casey's Cozy Garage, you'll know that I did just build this one. But it was the first time out, and saltwater, yep, but we didn't actually damage this one or submerge it, which was a good thing. And you know, even though the paint job was kind of semi-okay, it looked really great during this sunset. One thing I noticed here is that the Proline Trencher tires were significantly better at dealing with the sand and the kind of like the mud slushy sand conditions. This truck is built on a special NerdRC titanium gizmo that is hand polished by Josh, the man himself. He almost says that these aren't worth producing because of the effort, so I am really privileged to be able to get one of these, run it, and enjoy it just as a fun little hobby.
That's about as slow as I can drive it.
No, for sure. I'm not saying that. I was like as it got closer, like trying to like bend and zoom at the same time because I have no further practice. Oh, that's such a great screenshot. You don't understand, like with the colors, you need to get Lexi out in the golden hour because...
And drive Heavy Lexi during golden hour I did, and man, what an experience it was. It's always nice to see, like, the great paint that Dalek Boy 24 did exist out in the sun, but it's also a treat to see it during a sunset whilst on a beach. Whenever I take my SCX24s out internationally, I'm always reminded that it is a privilege to do this, and that these trucks have been to more places than someone like my dad has been, which is a really interesting little tidbit there. That, like, yeah, getting that world travel perspective, and, you know, some of that was used on this truck. This truck has more perspective than the random Gina that, you know, grew up in Iowa and never, like, moved further than 30 miles from her house. But anyway, We drove on the beach until all of our batteries were dead, and then as the sun set, we spent a lovely night in this campsite. So the next day, we headed out to our second campsite. Now this one was a little bit further away, and it was actually on the Isle of Skye, and this place was absolutely gorgeous. Besides the roads that were all too thin for one vehicle, let alone two in two directions, this two-direction road was the gateway towards a beautiful, beautiful campsite with an amazing little coffee shop. I don't really know that much about coffee, but I thought it was pretty good. And no cell service. We were truly forced to settle down, and spending time at this place was what convinced me that I didn't need to post a video whilst during on this trip. Now, this place had lovely places to crawl, including a place called the Fairy Pools.
Welcome to NerdRC. Is that how it goes?
Maybe.
Yeah. Where are we going? Fairy pools. Wait up.
The Fairy Pools is like a little waterfall cascade that has a hiking trail next to it, and it goes on for about 1.5 miles. It has these scale-looking pools, actually, and this photo is of Josh sitting and looking like a Scotsman right here next to kind of one of these pools. So it's a bunch of little waterfalls, and, you know, over time, nature has carved out these great rocks that we could crawl.
Oh, there's the hard body.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Go high. There you go. Turn up.
Oh, yeah.
See if you can go down it like I did. Need to go high first, I think. Well, you're a better driver than me. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Heck yeah.
Before long, Pepe the Class 1 truck was taking on lines that you'd normally see in Class 3, and it was really impressing me, actually. This was
Good. Turn
unbelievable.
passenger. There you go.
And then you went to the right or the left a little bit?
Left. So I made sure that the left tires stayed on top of that ridge that you're taking. Right there. Good. And once you get on top of that, turn up right. Now straighten out. I think.
Holy cow.
Wow.
What a line. What a line.
We would be so good at this in real life. Could you imagine bringing your GX down?
Not even a little bit, knowing what I know about IFS crawling. No.
Wow. Okay.
Look at these two tourists in the background, enjoying our little RC cars, or maybe just their vacation. I don't know. How self-centered am I?
That counts.
Got it.
What a scramble.
Wow. Come on. Wow. Okay. Come on. Come on, you're almost
You
there.
can do it, dude.
Yeah.
Good job. Good pull.
Now. Oh, death. Push me off, push me off. Maybe I can flip. Nope.
I haven't fallen yet. Okay. Do you think I can get down to that ridge and then back down it?
I think that's what I was going to try to do. So I'm going to
Oh, we haven't crashed yet. Okay, let's just scoot the rear end a little bit. Okay, now we back down slowly. Almost.
So then we went back to our campground at some point, and we spent one more night here. And in the morning, before checkout, we continued crawling some rocks. We got the Class 2 truck out, little tater tot here, and we were going to do some of these like seaside rocks that are underwater during high tide. So they were a little bit slippery, but we could still do really great, awesome lines with it.
That was fucking lovely.
Dude, man's got the talent.
This truck is a NerdRC Gremlin with some really short front links, kind of about deadbolt size, and some really long Gremlin-specific links in the rear. So it really helps with getting that weight bias up front while still having some really incredible clearance. As you can see, we're one of the only Class 2 chassis that offer a skid on the side, both in the high clearance range. So you're able to go over some pretty gnarly breakover angles with this machine. But I couldn't resist the urge to drive my truck again, and it struggled a little bit on these rocks. These rocks had a lot of sand and silt on them, and it's really not the good spot for this Milestar Patagonia tire. This tire really likes a dry area to drive over, but we were able to still drive some pretty neat lines with this one.
Now, cross that little trench thing.
Dragging that trailer hitch. Look at us go.
Passenger.
Oh, passenger.
No, you're in the right spot. When you start going up, hit passenger. There you go.
Look at that.
Yep, hard passenger. Yep, you're in the right spot. Now you need to start driver hard. There's a ledge on the back side of that.
As you can tell from Josh's great spotting advice right here, he actually does play with off-road cars in real life, which is something that I wish I could do soon, but regardless, he is able to help me get Lexi through some of this really, really tough rock. Even though this truck is struggling with this terrain, I was still able to do some really cool driving here, especially since the views were so good. Now, funny thing, on this day, we drove Lexi into a tide pool, and that kind of ruined this truck for a while. I had to take it completely apart when we got back home because a bunch of the bearings had seized up whilst we were out. So it was still really fun to see this NerdRC Gizmo kind of hang with the Class 2 truck. Then we drove the two besties out here together, Lexi and Pepe, and they did pretty good on this cool rock. This rock had some pretty neat looking like shelves here, and we were able to climb most of it, trying to see like which truck was better at certain things. Like my truck has a little bit more flex than Josh's does, but Josh's truck is a lot lighter, and it helps him out in certain situations here.
Near the scallywag seat.
Pepe's running bent axle and all, trying to bend another. And all he has to say for himself is yo.
So after concluding our visit here at Glenbrittle Campground, we went to our last destination. And our last destination was next to this lovely, lovely castle. I think it was called Eilindonen Castle or something. And it was truly magical. And this was the last place that we took our RC cars out and drove them. We had another one of our friends there, and he drove his NerdRC Gizmo as well. So yeah, this was really truly a neat place to kind of crawl with the castle and with the landscape behind. Interestingly, after being here for nearly a week, this was the first time that we experienced kind of the true British weather. The overcastness, the mistiness, and kind of the magical, like, fog that rolls over the hills. So it was kind of really cool to see it like this. Apparently, we've been told that Scotland had been going through a big drought at this time, and this was the first day that the rains and the mist came back. And it was the perfect backdrop for this Little Blue truck. This truck is literally named Little Blue, and it's kind of a more classic build on a NerdRC Gizmo chassis. It has more traditional axles, and it has older school 3-flow 9 parts on it, and old school wheels, and it looks really nice. And speaking of old school, we have Hot Cheeto here, and yeah, this truck has like old school steering. The steering angle isn't very good on this truck, but we're using some like really traditional parts. This one doesn't even have oil shocks, but as you can see here with the superior ground clearance of the NerdRC Gizmo here, we're still able to tackle some pretty rough terrain, even terrain that Pepe can easily drive over as well. People who go off-roading say don't go alone for safety reasons, because, you know, if someone gets stuck, then at least one person can get you out. And I would claim that, you know, in RC crawling, I would say don't go alone for fun reasons, because the friendship is always fun. I mean, look at how fun this little convoy is. We're just trying to get up this rock, all going together, all giving each other tips and teamwork along the way. It's a good way to bond with your friends. And that is simply just the NerdRC way. And as you can tell, all three of these gizmos, built slightly different, are able to tackle some pretty incredible terrain together. And boy, it was a lot of fun.
Kind of doing this transition up here blind. Can you see it better there?
And this was basically the end of our trip. We came here with ambitions of crawling each rock, and truly what we found along the way was that, much like how our trucks looked together, the friendship here was just absolutely wonderful. And you have to remember, when you have special trips like this, special days like this, where you can do something that you're absolutely passionate about, but with the people that matter the most to you, I think that is kind of the NerdRC way. NerdRC was created as a way to get people together, get people excited about something, and to share something that we love with the rest of the world. And to see it go this far, to see it visit Scotland, to see it reach as many people as it has reached, has really brought a lot of fulfillment to myself and to Josh, who put time into these trucks every day. So, with that, I encourage you to, definitely hit up some of your good buddies and do something that you really love with them. And if that is sharing some NerdRC goodness with them, if that is crawling some rocks with them, or it could be anything else, just remember to have a good time with them. So thank you for joining us on our Scotland trip, and I hope that everyone watching has a great day. Have fun, break hearts, but not rigs.